Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this video, I discuss the resultant of different forces. So it means that how you find the resultant. If you have a different forces, then how you find the resultant of their forces. So the first subtopic is the definition. First, find the resultant of different forces, that the sum of all the forces acting on a system, or the net effect of all the forces acting on the system. So come to our explanation. Let's we have three forces in a same plane. This is the plane, and this is the F1 force. This is the F2 forces, and this is the F3 force. So now, in order to find the resultant of these two forces, you just sum up all these forces. So the resultant of this force will be equal to sum of all the forces, and here it is equal to F1 plus F2 plus F3. Now, in order how you find the resultant of all the forces, for that you have need the F1, F2 and F3, and we find the F1, F2 and F3 by resolving these forces. Now we have Rx component, you know that, and we have two components, one is Rx and another is Ry. So now the resultant Rx resultant component along the x-axis is equal to sum of all the forces acting along the x-axis, and that will be equal to F1x plus F2x plus F3x. Similarly, resultant of forces along y-axis is equal to sum of all the forces along y-axis, and that is equal to F1y plus F2y plus F3y. Now, if we want to find the resultant, so the resultant will be equal to F1x plus F2x plus F3x plus F1y plus F2y plus F3y. So this is all about the resultant. Now, in order to find the magnitude of this resultant force, so the magnitude of this resultant force will be equal to F1x plus F2x plus F3x whole square plus F1y plus F2y plus F3y whole square under the rule. So this formula will give us about the magnitude. This is the vector of resultant force, this is the magnitude, and in order to find the angle, so we can find the angle theta by taking the sign inverse perpendicular F1y plus F2y plus F3y divided by F1x plus F2x plus F3x. So this come toward the relation of these resultant forces with the equilibrium. Relation with equilibrium. In equilibrium, the body will be at rest, or if it is not at rest, then it will be in motion, and that motion will be in uniform, and that motion will be uniform. So now we can say that a body is in equilibrium if it is either at rest or moving with a uniform velocity. So that's the vector quantity. Now we discuss the relation with the equilibrium of the resultant of different forces, as if we know that resultant is equal to sum of all the forces, and if the sum of all the forces is equal to 0, then that body will be in equilibrium. While if the sum of all the forces, as we know that, is equal to F, if it is not equal to 0, then that body will be in non-equilibrium. So this is all about the relation of the resultant of different forces with the equilibrium. So now come toward the different methods through which we can find the resultant of different forces. Methods. First one method is the graphical method. The second one is the love parallelogram. Through love parallelogram we find the resultant. And the third topic is the algebraic method. So now come to the first topic, which is the graphical method. So this is the plane, and the one force is applied in this direction, the second force is applied in this direction, while the third force is applied in this direction. So now, in order to find the resultant of all these three forces through the graphical method, first we take a suitable scale. Let's this F1 is equal to 100 Newton, this is equal to 90 Newton, and this is equal to 50 Newton. So how we take on the scale? We take some supposition. There we take some supposition like 10 Newton. Then here we take that 10 Newton is equal to 1 centimeter. 10 Newton is equal to 1 centimeter. So now F1 will be equal to, F1 is 7 Newton, so it will be equal to 10 centimeter. And F3 will be equal to 90 Newton, so it will be equal to 9 centimeter. And F2 will be equal to, as it is 50 Newton, so it will be equal to 5 centimeter. Now to find the resultant of these two forces, you draw the F1 forces along the y-axis up to 10 centimeter. And the other force in this direction, same as it is, and you draw it by taking the head of the first vector. F3 is equal to 9 centimeters. So now this is the F3 and x is equal to 9 centimeters. So you draw the 9 centimeter line. Now if the third one is the F2, parallel to this force, so you draw this force to 5 centimeters. Now in order to find the resultant of all these three forces, F1, F2 and F3, we join the head of the first vector with the head of the last vector. So here the first vector is F1 and the last vector is F2. So we draw the resultant will be in this direction. This will be the resultant. So now just find the length of this resultant. So you get, let's suppose this is the point O, this is the point A. So just find the length of this OA through scale. So you get some data, and that data will be equalized to this condition. So you get the resultant forces. Let's suppose we take on the scale and we get the data is equal to 4.5 centimeter. So I find the resultant, and that resultant, let's suppose equal to 4.5 centimeter. So here it's 10 Newton, as we know that equal to 1 centimeter. So 4.5 centimeter will be equal to, so it will be equal to 10 multiplied by 4.5. So it will be equal to 45 Newton. So this will be your resultant. Now this is all about the first method. The second method is the law of parallelogram. Through this way we can also find the resultant of different forces. Let's suppose we have the first force is acting in this direction, the second force is acting in this direction, this is the F2, this is the F3. So three forces are acting in different direction. So now I take these two forces first and try the in the similar manner as it is here, there. So that's why. Now I am interested in to find the resultant of these two forces. So that resultant forces, let's suppose we have R1. The resultant R1 is the resultant of these two forces, F2 and F3, and it is equal to F2 plus F3. Let's suppose R1 is equal to F2 plus F3, and the resultant will be by taking in this manner. So you can find the resultant. The resultant will be equal to, this will be equal to R1. Okay, so now the R1 is equal to F2 plus F3. Now come toward the first vector. The first vector is this vector. This is all about the first vector. And now here we take on the resultant. The resultant, you proceed this further, and you also proceed this further. So for this, here, this is the R1 and this is the So for this I am interested in find the resultant. So drawing the same line, go to F1 in the same direction, and this is R1. So the resultant of these two forces will be equal to R2. So R2, I can say that the R2 is equal to R1 plus F1. So now just putting the value of R1, so you get R2 is equal to F1 plus F2 plus F3. So I get the same thing as I got in graphical method. Now this is all about the second method for find the resultant of different forces, and that method is the law of parallelogram. Now come toward the third topic, and that method is the algebraic method. Algebraic method. Now let's suppose we have taken the same forces, three forces. Now as we know that we have in algebraic method we have the graph x dash, y dash. Now in order to find the resultant of different forces through algebraic method, we bring this force here. So this force, let's suppose here F1. Now resolving this force, we get F1 force will be equal to F1x plus F1y. So F1 will be equal to, as here no x component is present, the x component is 0, just the y component is present, and that y component will be always equal to F1. So we can say there F1j. So this is the F1. Now come toward the F2. So if you resolve this F2 force, if you get one component along the x-axis, the other component along the y-axis, so this will be equal to F2x, this will be equal to F2y. So the result F2 will be equal to F2x plus F2y. So F2 will be equal to F2i plus F2j. So this is all about the F2. Now come to the third. So resolve this F3. You get one component along the negative y-axis and the other component along x-axis. So in order to find this third component, we also write in a similar manner like F3x plus F3y. So it will be equal to F3i plus F3j. So this is all about the F3. Now in order to find the resultant, we know that the resultant is equal to F1 plus F2 plus F3, sum of all the forces. Now here I find F1, F2 as well as F3. Just putting the value here, so you get the resultant. F1 here is equal to F1j, F2 is equal to F2i 2j, F3 is equal here, sorry, here the y component is along the negative direction, so it should be equal to minus. So the resultant will be equal to F3i plus F3j. So the resultant will be equal to F2 plus F3 I gamma F1 plus F2 plus F3 j. So this is all about the resultant vector. Now in order to find the resultant magnitude, so taking the x-axis square and the y-axis component all along the y-axis square, so it will be equal to y component, so that's right. So under the root, so it will be equal to resultant. In order to find the angle, so for angle I taken the tangent inverse F1y, F2y plus F3y divided by F2x plus F3x. Now at the end we get the resultant. The resultant of magnitude this, and it makes angle theta with the x-axis. So this is the final resultant of all these three forces. So you just find the resultant of different forces particularly here and find the angle theta. So this is all about the resultant. So this